It is 9:45, and time for us to do some chanting for our dear friend, Lao Shi. Hey, Keith, how are you? Great to have you here. Breezy, wonderful to have you as always. And welcome to everybody else popping in tonight. So much chanting to be done. Today is the halfway point in our chanting, day 25. So 24 days on either side and one day in the middle. Man. It gets easier and then it doesn't get easier, and then it gets easier and it doesn't get easier, and then it gets easier and it doesn't get easier, and we still keep on moving. It's definitely been this has all been a very big, how do I want to say this? It's really made me test my practice to see how my practice is. And it showed me weaknesses in my practice, and it showed me strengths in my practice. It's always difficult to lose somebody that's really that close to you and somebody that you have that much respect for. But what I am seeing is I'm seeing a number of people up their game and really, I think, realize for myself as well that we do need to up our game. We need to study more. We need to practice 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 more. So there are two schools. There's a school of people. Hello, Katrina. How are you? Katrina, today's Amma's birthday. We chanted the Mahamurtyunjaya mantra earlier. It was fun. Just remember that it was Amma who taught that one to me. But anyway, we're talking about two different schools of thought when it comes to practicing and when it comes to learning. There's those who learn everything they possibly can. That's not me. I'm not going to sit and learn everything I possibly can. Knowledge is wonderful, but there's just not enough time in the day for me to study everything I need to study and to do what I do. The other side is to learn something and then practice it to the point where it is embedded in you. It's like you know what you're studying, you know what you're learning, and you're practicing what you've learned to the highest of its abilities. And that's my school. And I think Lao actually did kind of a combination of both better than most people do. But none of us perfect it. I talked with my original teacher a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about this same very subject. And, he reiterated again. He goes, "You remember when I took all your books away?" And that was something he did. I used to come to meditation class and come to study sessions with a new book every time. And I was reading these books, and they were great, and they were written by these really famous masters. And I really wish I had some of those books still. And I would be sitting there reading, and he would come up and he'd go, "Oh, Harry, how are you today?" He goes, "Oh, can I see this book?" "Oh, I know this monk. I remember this monk when I was a young boy. This monk was still alive and very famous and very powerful. Thank you." And he would take and put it in his satchel. And I'd be like, "Okay." Because these books are hard to come by in English. Trust me. These books from these masters are very hard to come by in English. So the fact that he was taking it away, I'm like, okay, he's still trying to learn English and learn how to teach Dharma in English. And he would be there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll let him take it for a while, and I'll get it back from him later. The next day I came in, had a different book. The same thing happened. And this happened, 7, 8, 9 times before I started going, okay, I shouldn't bring books to class. This is just ridiculous. And I went back to him and I said, hey, Lompa, Lompa is kind of like venerable uncle. Can I please have this one book? I'd like to finish reading it. And he looks at me straight in the eyes and says, no. I'm like, okay. And I said, can I ask why? And he goes, you can always ask. And I said, would you tell me why? And he goes, yes, this time I will. He says, I want you to build your meditation practice and build your observation practice to the point where you awaken yourself. Once you've awakened yourself, once you've reached that level, then you'll know that everything in those books was correct, but you will never take their path. The problem with many practitioners is that they read about the path for so long that they forget that each person has their own path. They sit there and they try to sit the exact way that they sat and chant the mantra exactly how the teacher did it and to walk the path exactly as they did it because they see that as being the way to become enlightened. And that's not the truth, because if I just read this book and follow everything this book said, then I'm not really building my own path, and I'm not following my own path. I'm just going through the motions, and I may and may not ever reach any level of enlightenment. So there's a lot of knowledge there. Knowledge is reading a book and just following the book. Wisdom is taking what was in that book and really being able to put it into action. And so I hope that everybody here and everybody that ever sees this really pays attention to, what is your wisdom? Do you have a lot of knowledge or do you have a lot of wisdom? Because I would much rather talk with the person who has wisdom. So I don't know why I needed to make that rant today, but it needed to happen. And I'm happy that it happened. And now I'm going to start and do what I'm here to do, which is to pay homage to my dear friend and to help give him the energy that he needs, that energetic bank account, give him the energy he needs to help him move on, to help him to be one with the immortals. So here we go. Veneration. Om Sarva Danagadam Baravandanam Geromi. Om Sarva Danagadam Baravandanam Geromi. Om Sarva Danagadam Baravandanam Geromi. And so before I go into my next chant, I'm gonna answer this. And my teacher would say, throw the book away, watch those who have done it before and learn from them directly, and then write your own book. Learn it, have the wisdom, write your own book. He said, unless it is truly sutra or scripture, pure scripture, don't waste your time with it until you've reached a level of awakening. And then you can go back and watch their path. And you can go, oh, wow, I remember in my path that I went through this and I went through this and I went through this, but mine was a little bit different. So sorry, I just had to jump in and say that before I forgot to. So next, eliminating fear in any situation. Om Vajranaye Hum Bat. 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 Having hard harmony amongst all relatives. Om Giri Samanya Swaha. 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 For achieving the way of Tao immortals. Om Bhadra Gari Raja Hamza. 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 For rebirth in the heavenly palaces. Om Jangali Swaha. 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 And for all living beings to respect each other. Om Baramanjaling Hri. 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 Now for the mantra of light. Go ahead and take deep breath. Maybe take a sip of water if you're actually going to chant with me. Here we go. Om Amoga Vainochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vainochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vainochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vainochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vainochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwala Bravadaya Hom. Om Mamogavairochana Mahamudra Mani Padman Jwala Parvate Ahom. 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 Om Amoga Vairojana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jwalamarvati 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 Ahom. And may we all be well, happy, free from suffering. May any merits we've gained be shared to Lao Shi, to his family, disciples, students, friends, to all beings. Bhavantu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Buddha Nubhavena Sata Soti Bhavantu Te. Bhavantu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Tama Nubhavena Sata Soti Bhavantu Te. Bhavantu Sabha Mangalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Sangha Nubhavena Sata Soti Bhavantu Te. Oh, thank you, my friends. Thank you for being here and sharing in this with me. My counter started screwing up in the middle of this, so there are 2 times where I think I may not have kept up with my count as well. I may have gone a little bit over. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for being here. So going back to what I was saying earlier, there is not a right or a wrong. There was the way my teachers did it. There was the way Lao did it. Lao was very different in the way he did things. And my mad respect for him, because he showed me a different side to the practice. So tell me, Keith, were you keeping up with me tonight? And if so, was my counting completely screwed tonight? Oh, I hate being off on my counting, but I think that happened tonight because this counter, it's a wonderful thing, but it goes in and out sometimes. So I think I need to get a new one. I've had this one for a long time, but they're fun. They're really fun, because every time you do this. So we did one extra. Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, every time you flip this, it's supposedly supposed to go up. Anyway, time for a new one. They're cheaply made, but they're wonderful. Making up for yesterday. Yeah, I have no doubt it was my fault. So here we are. We have finished our middle chanting, our 25th day, and we've got some fun things planned. I was talking with Blue, and some fun things planned for our final day out there. So hopefully everybody will join in that day. Not just a small group who join in with us every day, but I hope all the students will join in. So until tomorrow night, which could be a little different, we'll see how it goes. Little Doug's dad is coming in tomorrow night sometime, and I've got to pick him up from the airport. So if that happens, I'll adjust my chanting I might do it earlier, I might do it later. So it just depends on how lady comes in. It might be on time. Who knows? Take care. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll say goodbye to Lao for the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.